Hey everyone, my name is Sophie from Sophisticated Organization. Welcome to another Sophisticated Saturday where together we work through my to-do list and get things done around the house. And today's Sophisticated Saturday is motherhood themed because it is almost Mother's Day. We're going to be doing a lot of mom tasks around the house as well as making some DIY gifts for Mother's Day. You'll see I started off in the laundry room and I was just switching over the bottle washing station. I got an automatic bottle washer this time around. Probably a little bit extra of me to do that, but I have really actually enjoyed it a lot. It's made it so much easier to wash bottle and pump parts, pacifiers. It washes, sterilizes, and dries. So once I finished that, I went into Owen's room. I set up his little bookshelf for spring, as well as cleaning up the rest of his books that were all over the floor and his little side table next to the chair we have in his room, and wanted to put those away on the bookshelf just so he's not overwhelmed by too many books and so that he gets excited by the spring books that are on that bookshelf for him, which I like to rotate out typically every month and add a little bit of different decor as well. Also, as the seasons are switching over, I have gotten him a few new pieces of clothing. If you watched my quarterly recap, I talked about how I did a really good job not overspending, I guess, over the past or the first quarter of the year, with the exception of kids' clothing. I am so addicted to buying cute clothing for our little boys. And now that I have two boys, I like having them in matching clothing every now and then. So I did buy a few new pieces for each of them. I had originally just hung them up in their closet, but I have decided to keep them. So I'm going to cut off the tags and hang them back up. Question for you. Do you always wash your clothing first before you wear it? Typically with newborn clothing, I always wash it. And then when it comes to our toddler and my clothing, I usually wash it. But I'm wondering if sometimes you don't wash it before you wear it. I know there can be like chemicals on it, or if it's in the store, you don't know who's touched it, it's dirty. So even though they're on the hangers, I will probably still wash them before we actually have the kids wear them for the first time. I'm going to finish off Owen's room by making his bed, I want to say, but again, his mattress is still on the floor. When I filmed this, we were supposed to get the bed frame the next day, so I was very close to getting it. It is now installed and it looks awesome. So the next video you see, you should see the brand new bed frame. Now into Henry's closet, I am going to do the exact same thing. I'm pulling out the clothing that is new, still has tags on it, and I'm going to cut all the tags off. Not only do I cut the tags off on the outside that dangle from the clothing, but I also go inside of each article of clothing and like to cut off those really long tags. I don't do that as much with my own clothing, but kids' clothing, I don't know if it's the proportions that make it seem like the tags are huge, but they just kind of take over. And I know sometimes kids can be really particular if there's things that's touching them or bothering their skin, so I just cut those out for them so we don't have to worry about it. Henry is growing like a weed. He has grown out of his newborn clothing, his 0 to 3 month clothing. He is solidly in 3 to 6 month clothing. He's 4 months old now. He has moved up in diaper sizes, and we are getting ready to transition him into moving into his bedroom. So I think probably in the next couple of weeks we will make that happen. I also got a few packages at the door, so I grabbed those and am unloading them. More kids stuff per usual, with a couple of things for me. I got new shoes for Owen. Henry doesn't need shoes, doesn't wear shoes, but Owen needed some new summer shoes. He's growing every single year, and speaking of spending too much money on kids clothing, I got a couple things from Old Navy when they had the super cash thing, so I got a good discount and price on those. And then the last thing that I got is something I've been really excited to get, and the only reason I got this was because I had a gift card, so I was splurging on it, and it is the Bog bag, which I feel like is the ultimate mom bag if you go to the beach or the pool or just a large carry-all tote. If you have a Bog bag and you love it, let me know. If you have any Bog bag accessories, I'm kind of excited to look into what else I can get with it. Okay, so I really wanted to make some DIY Mother's Day gifts. Usually my family gets together for Mother's Day, but since I've moved to Nebraska, I get together with my husband's family, and I'm thinking about making a few different scrubs, like body scrubs for the bath or shower, as well as some homemade bubble bath. And I'm going to show you a few very simple recipes that you can completely customize the way that you want to. I'm going to make a few different ones here to show you some examples. The one thing to be conscious of with homemade bubble bath is the fact that it is not going to bubble up the same way traditional bubble bath would, but we're making these with all really clean ingredients. You'll see I'm starting with coconut oil here, and I am going to melt a whole bunch of it because I'm going to use it in both of the bubble baths and in the scrubs. So I'm trying to get out a bunch of it, and then I'm just gonna pop it in the microwave to get it nice and liquidy so we can mix it with our other ingredients. Okay, I am just gonna pour this back in the container so it's out of the way. It's not that hot that it's gonna melt the plastic or anything. It's just warmed up. And then I am going to add in a 1/4 cup of water here. Let's see there. And a 1/4 cup of the coconut oil. Toss that in. And then I'm gonna add in 1/2 cup of, I just got this Pure Castile soap in a refillable container, which is really nice. I am gonna add in 1/2 cup there. Okay, so this is my soap base, and I did this size because I think it should fit into this container. And like I said, I'm gonna do a few different ones. I grabbed some essential oils. You could make any combination from this point forward. So I have an ocean scent that I grabbed, a lavender scent, and a lemon scent. So for the lemon scent, I am gonna add in the lemon essential oil with some lemon zest. And I have these soap dyes that I've used for so many DIY projects before. I have a yellow. Let's see, I have a turquoise blue that I think I'm gonna do for the ocean color. And I have, let's see, grape. Yeah, let's do grape for the lavender. For the ocean, I think I'm just gonna do some blue soap dye, keep it very light looking. And then for the lavender, I'm gonna add in some loose leaf tea in there just for like a really pretty effect. And it will also kind of seep into the warm water that I've added and the warm coconut oil and help with coloring and all of that stuff too. So let's get to making these soaps. For the sugar scrub, I'm gonna do something very similar. I am going to do a 1/2 cup of coconut oil here. And then I'm gonna add in a 1/4 cup of sugar. And then same thing, you can add in a little bit of that soap dye if you want. This still has a little bit of the leftover blue from the ocean, and I can still smell it a little bit. So I'm gonna add in just a little more blue. Have it match the bubble bath a little bit more. And then that coconut oil is going to firm up once it reaches room temperature. And you can always add in a little bit more sugar if you want it to be just a little bit thicker too, which I think I do. Let's see the smell. Actually smells really nice. So I'm going to add that into this container now. There we go. I'm gonna make the other ones the same way. I'm going to add in some lemon zest with the lemon one, and then I have a little more tea I'm gonna add in with the lavender one. So let's get the lemon one going. Okay, so it ended up being more like 1/2 cup of the sugar. And let's see here, I'm looking at the wrong side. And we'll do a little bit more than 1/2 cup of the coconut oil. And I already have a lot of lemon zest in that bowl. I'm gonna rinse my spoon, mix that together, and I'm gonna add in some more lemon essential oil. And in a little bit of yellow. Once I finish making the bubble bath and the body scrub, I'm heading into my office because I'm going to up it just a notch here by making custom labels for each of them. I just made these up online and called them like Ocean Breeze and Lavender and Lemon, printed them out, and then I'm going to put them through the laminator so they stay nice and preserved even if they get wet, because of course they're bathroom products and I want them to look nice. So after I got them through the laminator, then I'm going to cut out those circles, punch some holes in them, and then tie strings around each of the containers, and I can give them as a gift as like a little set with the bubble bath and the body scrub. So as I'm finishing up this project, one thing that I wanted to chat about that's kind of been like heavy on my heart is that I know there are so many women out there that desire to be mothers or want to be mothers, and their journey getting there isn't the easiest, and I know some women maybe never get there. I have some people in my life who are dealing with struggles, whether it be infertility or anything else along those lines, and they want to be moms, or maybe even friends that just like haven't found the right person yet and are fearful that they might never become moms. And I know how lucky I am, and I feel like I'm getting emotional, but I'm so lucky to have my 2 beautiful baby boys. If you've followed my story from before sharing that I was pregnant with Owen, I did share that I previously had a miscarriage, so I know that there are a lot of women that go through that, and if that's something you've gone through or are currently going through, I completely feel you. But I was hoping I could get your help. I have somebody in particular in my life who is really struggling with fertility, and I think potentially may not be able to have children naturally. And I don't know what to do. I want to do something special for her on Mother's Day, but I'm wondering if by doing something special, it makes it actually more difficult. So if you have like a friend that's gone through that, or you yourself have gone through it and feel comfortable sharing what you think I should do to help celebrate those who are maybe mothers in other ways or desire to be mothers, I really want to do something special for them, but I'm just not quite sure how to be as sensitive as I possibly can be. So, and also just wanted to call that out because I know Mother's Day isn't easy for everyone. And also just talking about maybe those of us who have lost our mothers or who have difficult relationships with our mothers. There are so many different feelings that can come up with these holidays that might go overlooked. So try and be sensitive to those around you, and just know that everyone has a different journey. And if you are somebody who has children and you are blessed that way, make sure to tell your kids you love them, give them a tight squeeze, even if they're like me, an infant and a 2-year-old, or maybe you have a 40-year-old. Just appreciate your children and what you have on this Mother's Day, because it's not only about celebrating our mothers, but also celebrating our children. And speaking of being a mother and a mother of a newborn, I had to take a quick pumping break there. So I am at my little milk station here in the laundry room, measuring. I always feel like a barista when I'm doing this, or like I'm making cocktails or something, but I'm constantly measuring and like transferring milk, especially because I'm transporting it to daycare. So I had to empty out my pumps. These wearable ones are so handy. So I can do housework while I'm pumping, and for the most part, you would never know, or I could go out in public and pump and you would never know. And then the last thing that I'm going to get done today is popping down to the basement because there are trains and toys all over the place. So I am going to pick up the train set a little bit. I'm not going to fully pick it up just because Owen loves playing with it so much, but I'm going to try and tidy it up just a hair so it's not a disaster, and he doesn't need to have every single piece out to play with at once. Finally, I'm just going to clean up a little bit in the living room. There were some more toys there that I hadn't put away, which is a task I do every single day. I almost forgot that I had to do it. But that is it for today's Sophisticated Saturday Motherhood edition. If you are a mother, make sure to celebrate yourself or celebrate your mom. And I hope that you all have a wonderful Mother's Day. Maybe give one of the DIYs a try. But until next time, I will see you all later.